Yeah, before I talk about Ruby Sparks, I just want to make a quick complaint to my local cinema or the distribution of the film Ruby Sparks. First off, I tried seeing this film in theaters, but I ended up not, because it was only in theaters for 2 weeks, and I was only showing it in a cinema near me. It takes me at least an hour to get to, and I'm not that fucking bothered to move, you know. Who is, nowadays? I'm just as lazy as you. You're sitting there on your computer, doing nothing, watching my video. Don't judge me. I couldn't see it anyway because the last showing of the film in Wimbledon was at an 8 o'clock, and I'm not going to go to see a 2-hour movie at 8 o'clock because I can't be bothered to travel all the way back. If you're English and you're interested in seeing this film without any viruses or anything happening to your computer, and you're pissed off as me for this film not being distributed in our local cinemas, I recommend you going to Movie2K. Movie2K is the only website that uses DVD rips and other things, but I recommend only going on the streamers, not the actual click onto another website and then get your computer infected with viruses all the time. I recommend just direct streams and their DVD rips. If you don't know what a DVD rip is, Google it. Maybe if cinemas actually release these movies out longer, maybe their budget would actually come back, because I've checked on IMDb, and according to IMDb, only 9,000 members of IMDb have seen the goddamn film. If you want people to watch your film, you keep it in cinemas longer. You do not release it on DVD early in one country. It pisses people off, like me, who want to see good movies. Now that I've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the film. This is a great film. Ruby Sparks has fantastic charm, subtle references to Catcher in the Rye, and is disturbing as well. I'll explain that in a minute. The film's humor is strong in the first half, but falls a little weak in the second, I'll admit. The performances in there were strong, and Paul Dano gave a great performance, but for some reason looked like the guy from Kick-Ass. Zoe Kazan, I think, stole the show near the end of the film, and outshined everyone else and made everyone else look crummy. Well, she did write the script, so she gave all the best scenes for herself. There are a few issues I had with the film. Like, the main character for me was quite unlikable, but that could have been intentional, and not like Audition, where it was subtle that the main character was a dick. At times the film was a bit draining to watch. Like, it took me a lot of strength to finish it. There were things I felt that could have been there, but they decided the directors didn't think it was worth putting there. It could have made the film more interesting, I felt, but they didn't choose to go with it. The story's not that original as well. I felt that it took ideas from other films, but the final product was original, even though there was a lot of influences from Stranger Than Fiction, which is also a really good film I recommend. Those are the main issues I had with the film. The only other one is that I expected more from the film emotionally, knowing that it was by the same directors as Little Miss Sunshine, which is one of my all-time favorite films. And I got a lot more out of Little Miss Sunshine than I did with Ruby Sparks. Go see Little Miss Sunshine if you haven't, it's fantastic. Okay, spoilers now. So if you don't want any of the film spoiled to you, and you haven't gone on Movie2K already, I recommend you do now, before I spoil the entire film for you, unless you're like my friend James, who enjoys getting films spoiled. Calvin awakes from his dream and writes about the woman he had met in his dream, and writes her to his definition of perfect. Right there off the bat, he's trying to create the perfect woman. Some might debate about this, saying he only did it out of his antisocial lifestyle and desperation, but before he had even created Ruby into reality, when he found things belonging to her, he then controls Ruby into taking him back and be by his side always. He then chooses to humiliate her after she had attempted to go swimming with a man naked, but in her defense he was making her life miserable and boring. He makes her act like a dog and then makes her shout all the things she loves about him. After that, he erases her off the face of the earth. Well, that's what I interpreted from the film. You don't have to agree with me. I could be wrong for all you know. Maybe you want to disagree with me. Maybe you'll write your own review. Maybe you'll make a blog. Maybe you'll do something instead of sit here and listen to me talk. Am I insulting you? A little bit. Speaking of interpretation, here's some more interpretation. I know modern audiences are finding it difficult to use this word interpretation or put it to use after, maybe people might have liked Prometheus more if they had some open minds. Maybe people wouldn't have moaned about it. Maybe people don't have to be spoon-fed everything. Yep, I just insulted our culture. We're all idiots. Right, my interpretation of the ending is if you thought that the ending of the film it was Ruby he started talking to in the park, I think you'll probably be wrong. This is how I see it. His therapist tells him to write about someone who liked his dog, implying it had to be someone who existed. So I think it was a memory he was dreaming about, and he was writing about whom? Why? Because when he had met her, her hair was different, and she wasn't confused to where she had seen him before because she is Ruby. It's because she had seen him before in the park, and she was having slight deja vu of meeting him in the park a long while ago. She never says her name, so it's never confirmed whether she is actually Ruby. With that evidence, I think she isn't Ruby. I think she is a completely different person that inspired Ruby Sparks, and inspired his fantasies, and inspired his idea of a perfect girlfriend. Overall, I think Ruby Sparks is a great film. It's enjoyable, it's charming, it's romantic, it's different, well, not completely different, but it's it's something that's enjoyable. It's a great indie film. If you haven't seen it, try and see it. Go to Movie 2K, do whatever. It's fantastic. Go watch it. Also, I do photography. You could view that if you want, if you like this review. I hope you like this review. Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. Maybe we just don't like each other. Maybe we could get along.